Alrighty, tubers. So what we're gonna do now? We got oil in it. We got 30 weight. We've got a zinc additive in there for break-in, and that's just what I run in these all the time. A small amount of zinc to help protect the engine and the innards. I've got on the oil pressure sensor. I actually had to steal it off the old block because the one that was on this block was actually bad. But we're gonna use this because it's the only thing I've got set up right now. That'll stop beeping and show an open circuit like so. It'll show an open circuit once we got oil pressure. So I'm going to go ahead and crank it until we get oil pressure. Obviously nothing's on here, and the oil line is just looped right here for now. So I just want to make sure we got oil pressure, and then we're going to be doing a compression test. Spark plugs are out. Once we saw oil pressure there and started getting oil pressure at the sensor, you could actually hear the turning over of the engine slightly speed up, which is cool. That means everything's starting to get oil. I'm going to go ahead and crank it again for another 5 or 10 seconds, maybe more, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut it. We're going to get to testing the compression on this. It's right away too. Right as it starts cranking, that shuts off. I wonder what kind of oil pump we got on this. Alrighty, tubers. So we got Matco compression tester here. You can get these on Amazon, Harbor Freight. I just got this one because it came to me. I kind of wish I didn't. It was expensive. Anyways, so we got it on cylinder number 4 here. We're gonna go ahead and test this one first. We got 180 psi there. Woof. That's that's pretty high. Now, yes, the cylinders do have oil in them, and that they've got, the cylinders are wet, so it could bring the compression up just slightly, but really not by much unless you've got a worn-out engine. Yeah. That's gonna be a fun one. Let's go ahead and do number 3 here. So we got about 130 on that one. Gonna call about 170 on that one. Gonna call about 165 on that one. So yeah, they're definitely on the high side. Like I said, there is lubrication in there as well, so there's a possibility of that causing it, but I doubt it. It's got really, really high compression. So next thing is to figure out what we're going to do, whether we need to shim those heads, bring that compression down. Alrighty, tubers, just a really quick one here. I'm just trying to wrap this up. So, just a really quick touch on pushrod geometry. I'm sitting here learning myself, learning how to do this. I'm going to explain. If I can put the link in the description, I will put the link in the description. It's really good instructions on how to do this. But it pretty much comes down to You've got to have a dial indicator for sure. I just picked this one up at Harbor Freight. It's working. There's a dog, but it's working great. It's doing what I need it to. And I made an adjustable push rod. Let me unplug my phone here. I accidentally hit a button. Like I was saying, I made an adjustable push rod. And what you do is you crank the engine over till your your rocker's all the way down, flat out. You zero this guy out, you bring it all the way up. You take that measurement, which my measurement was, I think it's 4.20. It's different for different engines. Let's say it's 4.20. You cut that in half, that would be 2.10. And then you bring it back up until this shows 2.10, which right now it's 2.13. So if you double that up, what would that? I'm not going to do the math. It's late. But you bring it up to half, and you want your valve stem to match up with your rocker arm. And that's exactly what we got there. It's looking pretty sweet. So finally got this done. It's been on my mind. It's been bugging me. Pushrod geometry is done. So now what we've got to do is bring it back up. And yes, you should be doing pushrod geometry without your pushrod tubes in place. I already put them in place. Got everything all tightened down. You can do it with them in place. I just did it. It's just a pain. But yeah. So what I've got to do now is take my rockers off, take that pushrod out, measure it, and cut it to the new cut to size push rods. And then I install them on here, install them on the other side, and we're good to go. Isn't that right, Louie? Louie, hey, are you sleeping? Oh, hello. Hello there. Anyways, what's with the chimp and the monkey? Let's get back to it. Alrighty. Let's get this thing put together, finally. Alright, tubers, so we're going to go ahead and try starting this up. We've got the carburetor that came on that race engine on there. There's no choke. We're going to be gravity feeding it. Go ahead and turn the fuel on. We have fuel flow. We've got high proof gas in here just in case. Just being the first start. Just want to make sure it's high enough. It's filling the bowl up right now. I'm hoping everything's good. I pulled the carburetor apart and looked at it just lightly to see if it was in good shape, and it seems to be in pretty good shape. Make sure the top is tight. I couldn't remember if I tightened it down, and I didn't. Obviously, it doesn't need to be too tight. See if the fuel. Yep, the squirter works. So let's go ahead and hook up the ignition coil here. Up through here. Get away from the exhaust. Alright, we got that guy on there. Got oil pressure gauge there. Alright. Got the starter switch. Let's see if we can start it. It's gonna. I bet you it's just gonna fire right off. I'll probably have to tune it a little better, change the timing. It moves pretty easy. Let me grab a tune mill here, and that guy. That's what I'm looking for. Tighten that up just slightly. This distributor is off of the bug. It's the distributor that came on the bug. The engine that came on this engine actually was bad. It had the electronic switch on it and it didn't work, so I took it off. Put this distributor on because I know I've run an engine with a distributor anyway. So let's go ahead and try starting it. a little bit. Not quite. It's going to take a little bit to get this going just right. Really wish this starter switch was easier to get to. Might take it off a little bit. So I didn't have to drop it constantly. I keep choking it off too much. I do have it now in the bug, and this is about where it's been so far with everything going on. I've been having to work through everything that's been going on. You guys know what I mean. Being 6 feet away from people. I don't want to say much more. But with everything that's been going on, I haven't had a ton of time. So I've actually been on leave for a little bit. I had to be tested. Thankfully, came back clean. Don't have it. The CV19. But went back to working on this again. We'll be seeing this put together soon. And get running down the road for the first time. Hopefully. I got to check the brakes, see if they work. I know they're pretty non-existent there, so. But we did get it running on the stand, and then I went ahead and threw it on that night. And that's about where it's been. I haven't really done much with it since, so cool.